In a world riddled with a virus labeled Made in China, 3 guys decided it would be a good idea to try and start a podcast at the end of the year, which in hindsight's a bit stupid to be honest. With your hosts Will Moore, Tom Ing, and the guy with the sexiest voice known to man, Callum Marshall, we bring you Life is Such. Stream now on Spotify and YouTube.
Hello everybody and welcome to the pilot episode, I couldn't get that word out then, of Life is Such.
Woo! Life is Such, best podcast 2021! Woo!
I'm glad you're enthusiastic, Jesus Christ. The podcast where 3 friends just normally talk shit on a day-to-day basis. We thought we'd bring it to an audio form and publish it for people to somewhat listen to.
Yeah, we're
Mainly
here
for
to
our
depress a
entertainment.
lot of you.
It's mainly for our own entertainment. If we can get something out of it, then why not? Want to reach some people, have a conversation with you guys. But we're simply here to have a good time, have a laugh.
Are we?
In lockdown. Well,
Yeah,
I don't know.
enjoy
You can only have so much.
company, I guess.
You can only have so much fun when you're on a Discord account, but you know.
Right.
It is. Anyway, on to the hosts. You have me, Will, the big boy.
Describe yourself, Will. Let the audience imagine who you really are.
I have a magnificent beard.
What colour is your beard?
It's ginger.
What colour's your hair?
Blonde. Yes.
You're a freak.
The curtains match the drapes.
There are no
Black.
drapes.
Oh, you've got blinds.
The Callum's curtains match his drapes. That's the question. Callum, okay, I'll describe myself. I've got a magnificent beard. I like to say to myself. I love going gym. I like video games. And I like sports. And we have Callum. He's got purple hair. Describe yourself, Callum, quickly.
Hi, my name's Callum. I like long walks on the beach.
It's just Tinder. What the fuck is this?
I
Swipe left.
I have purple hair.
Left. Left. Left.
I'm the world's worst voice actor, as you
Left.
probably heard in the intro, and for
Oh.
the intros to come. Yeah, and I want to try and become a heavy metal singer as well.
Super like.
Yeah.
I need to get Tinder Plus to go back and unswipe left.
Shit, yeah, you got to get the rewind, boy.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, you've got a fucking super like me, mate.
Okay.
Oh,
Tom
and I have
King,
glasses because I'm a nerd.
and you're blind as a fucking bat. I'm blind
Yeah.
as a bat as well, but I just refuse to get glasses because I don't want to look like a nerd.
I don't need glasses, so I'm laughing.
That's fair to be
You're
honest.
not laughing now, so you're laughing.
No, I'm pretty monotone at the minute, but you know,
Anyway,
I will soon pick it up.
Tom, how would you describe yourself?
Finland.
Ooh, there's not enough words in the dictionary.
Mo and Leicester.
Yes, I very Leicester
Leicester.
from a young age. You know, my nickname's now Mo and Leicester, so I've
It's
got
got
to
to eat
combine
real
it.
quick. Holy shit.
Yeah,
damn.
no little kids were harmed in the making of this name. So yeah, that's all you really need to know.
Well, the premise of this pilot episode, as it is New Year's Eve today, well, when it's going out, it'll be New Year's Eve. It's currently the 26th, so Boxing Day. We're doing a year review of this shit show of a year that has been 2020. Basically, just going back on all the big points that have happened over the past 12 months, sort of going into 2020, coming out of 2020.
I mean, it's not been a shit show of a year. I mean, the people who go, "Oh, 2020 is the worst year," it's just like, has there been a world war? No. Have you been bombed?
Yo, listen,
No.
there nearly was. There nearly was at the start. Don't forget that Iraq bombing thing that happened where they blew up the airbase.
Yeah, there nearly was, but like, it's not like we're all being conscripted into the fucking military. Jesus. All you
No, I
gotta do is
mean,
wear a
fucking
mask.
pretty.
Not the
No,
worst
I'm
fucking year.
I'm not even going to say what I was going to say then.
Yeah,
If
probably
I
not.
speak, I prefer not to speak. If I speak,
Yes,
I'm
like,
proper.
stop yourself before you think.
All right, so
Because I was going to say no.
so without further ado, we're going to start the year in review. So, bit out there. I'm starting December last year, so sort of New Year's Eve time, around that time. We had the Australian bushfires, which is a shit way to lead into 2020. Over 47 million acres of woodland were burnt. 47 million.
That's fucking ridiculous.
That is
Oh, no.
outrageous. I mean, we've all seen the photos and the videos of that koala
My poor koala boy.
Damn koalas, man.
Man,
There's
Those
literally there's so much that's going
It's
on with
bad
that.
enough that they have chlamydia. Now their homes are burnt
wait,
down.
what?
Yeah, koalas genetically have chlamydia. Within
You're
their
chatting.
system.
So, listen. So, whenever
Hey,
someone
God.
says, "No, I've got the clap," I know exactly where they've got it from.
You
Yeah,
fucked
they've been
koala.
fucking koalas.
They've been piping little koalas out on the outback.
Oh,
Zoos
blow-
hate them.
going bareback in the outback.
I'll blow your outback. Bang.
Oh dear, I'll blow your
Oh.
Yeah,
back
that
out.
was what actually happened. Isn't it just because it's bare hot in Australia? I don't actually know.
I think they had a slight drought, and
It's just two cunts going here. Come here, mate. Look at my fucking.
Look how quick this tree will burn down.
right there, Cobber. Let's have a barbecue right here in the middle of the outback. I'm sure the tribes
Just-
won't mind.
Just some guy having like a barbecue, and he drops a bit of coal and burns a leaf, and he's like, "Eh, fuck it, it won't do anything." And they leave, and they look at the news, and there's like
They
fucking
turn
forest
around
fires.
5 minutes later, and it's just like, oh shit, more. We gotta go, mate.
Ah, Kevin.
They're driving down the highway, they turn around, and there's this black smoke. They're like, "Oh, what the fuck is that, mate?"
It's like, just look ahead, boy. It's all we need. Look ahead, don't look back.
The exhaust
they
is
look-
fucked.
They look,
Is this diesel? I thought it was petrol.
Fuck.
now they look behind them and they're just like, Kevin, you damn fucked up, boy.
Oh, that fucking goat video, man.
Oh,
Kevin!
stop being such a fucking cunt.
Kevin, you can. All right. So
Oh,
in
right, what was
January,
it?
that was a shit way to
January.
end last year. But last
And
year
an
wasn't
even
too bad.
better way to start was the momentum of
Oh,
coronavirus.
mate. So listen, obviously coronavirus in China last year, but we're not going to get to that yet. December
Made in
into
China.
January.
It's been
January.
branded.
January started with Harry and Meghan Markle leaving the royal family. I know none of us really give a shit, but it was a big and momentous occasion in the UK.
Yeah, it's never really happened.
I mean,
in,
I don't really.
Old Granny Queenie fucking murdered their mum, so no wonder
Oh,
they
listen, I hate the royal family, yeah, but there's Liz is. I love Liz. All right, Liz is
Philip!
Philip, look, Philip, I'm a stamp.
Look at my flaps, Philip!
Philip, I'm a stamp. Tuck me in.
It's got servants to tuck her in, fam.
But no, I think that no one really gave a shit to it. I think a lot of older people, like our parents' age, like sort of 40s and above, I thought people cared then.
Yeah.
But sort of 20 to 35, I don't really think people gave much of a shit.
Nah, they did
Doesn't
surveys
really
and shit.
The royal family are kind of an old-fashioned thing. Like a lot of people our age now and older, sort of like our age to sort of 35.
It's
They
more of
don't
a
really
novelty
care.
than anything.
Yeah,
the
it's
problem
more
is,
of
the
a
problem is the royal
allegiance.
family would be fine if they were more relevant when it came to our parliament. But the problem
Aren't they
is,
German?
They'd have no input.
Like I
they've got
see the
no
thing, yeah. Oh,
and they
these
are German.
foreigners are going to take away our British royal family. And I'm pretty sure they're German.
Yeah, they came
Yeah.
from
They
Germany.
originated from Germany. And I'm like, well, technically speaking, they're not even British, are they? The
No.
Queen's jokes. The Queen's jokes. Everyone else is a bit of a tosser, apart from Harry. I like Harry, and Meghan Markle would get the pipe every day of the week, but she was sick in suits as well. She was sick in suits.
Suits was savage.
All right, now
Great
after Harry and Meghan leave, we had COVID-19 coming to Europe. Essentially, I mean, it was in China before. I nearly said Japan, and it was in China prior to this.
Yeah, that was where
Everyone
it
kind of laughed. Let's be honest. Yeah, the China
was.
virus.
I did. I'll be honest. I was in Amsterdam.
I thought to
in
myself,
January.
who the fuck is eating bats? But obviously, you're going to get some
Ozzy
sort of disease,
Osbourne.
you crackhead. I mean, I hope
He's
not.
patient
He does-
zero.
He does
Jesus.
strike me as one of them people. But
No,
no,
he
it came
did. He
to
bit a head off a bat.
Yeah,
Did
live
you know
on
that
stage.
story?
but like woefully cooking bats, like going out of your way to cook a bat and eat it as a meal is something not right, mate. But
It's all different cultures though. If you look at China,
Yeah.
they're literally they don't
they eat
waste
dogs.
anything.
The
No, they
thing
don't
is
even
with China, they
fuck
have
eating
such
dogs,
a
they eat
huge
everything.
population.
My
They have
dog
such a
would
massive
make such a good meal
population
for
in
them, though,
China.
you know?
They have to eat everything. But the
Well,
problem
I mean,
with
they're
China is
literally
how they
like,
treat the animals.
yeah.
That's
There's
the
a
My
lot
dog
problem.
would be
that they
my
eat.
dog
There's
would be
like,
the first dog they killed. You know, that. If they came over here, my dog would be the first one on the chopping board. He's an idiot.
he's in Harvey. The amount of
Yeah,
meat
but
that's on Harvey.
Harvey's chill. He just sleeps. They'd be like,
Yeah,
he's no problem.
they wouldn't need to do
Yeah,
anything.
exactly.
Pick him up.
But they look at him and they go, he's no problem to us. We can grab him when we want. They look at my dog and go, he's a pain in the fucking ass.
He was, oh, fucking get him there.
No, coronavirus came to Europe. I think it went to Italy first. And again, I think
Italy
everyone
was probably the second hardest hit country after China.
it
Oh, God,
was
yeah.
the epicenter, wasn't it? It's like, it's the epicenter for the pandemic. And then,
Yeah.
like, literally within a week of it being in the UK, UK is the new
caught
epicenter
up.
for the pandemic. It was, I think, the UK probably the worst handled probably the country that handled it the worst out of possibly everyone.
New
Yeah,
Zealand
they're
did it the
definitely
best.
up there.
Because we
They
got
locked
fucking
down
box
everything
trolls.
though as soon as it fucking happened.
We have a
Yeah,
fucking
as soon
box troll.
as they
as a
heard of it
fucking
in
prime
fucking New
minister.
Zealand, they locked down straight away and
They
listened to
did the
the
borders and
scientists.
everything. We may have
Haven't
done the
they?
lockdown, but we
Oh,
didn't.
do you know what I found out the other day about New Zealand? We're on the topic of it. You know how we get like furlough, yeah, and America are like trying to charge people and shit. New
Yeah.
Zealand did a thing similar to furlough, but they paid every single person who had a job $800 rent, like to go toward their rent for the entire time that everything was shut down. I was like, why do we do that? I'm pretty sure
Shit.
are we smaller than New Zealand? Or are we
No,
bigger?
We're a
we're
smaller
big.
country, but we're more densely populated.
We've got more.
Yeah, I
of a
know,
the
yeah.
pro-
We've got way more of a population.
Yeah, we've got way more of a population. But the thing is, our government could have done something like that, but they just chose not to because it's too much
dickheads.
hassle.
Yeah, and it cost them too much money. But yeah, coronavirus came over here to Europe, wreaked havoc, went to America, and we're still paying the price now. We're in tier 4. If anyone in the UK is in tier 4, I'm sorry. You know, it's shit.
Yeah, it's
Christmas
not
was
the
shit. It
best.
wasn't shit this year. You know, it was the same.
Wear your masks.
Wear your
Yeah,
masks.
Wash your hands.
Wear your masks. Sing happy birthday when you're washing your hands. Keep your distance from all the homeless people on the tramps, because actually feed them because they're outside in the cold. It's fucking freezing. I went out this morning to walk the dog and I nearly castrated myself.
Yeah, it's not nice at the minute.
It's not
very
nice.
cold.
But no, we're
Very
still paying
cold.
the price. One close to my heart happened in January. Basketball legend Kobe Bryant unfortunately passed away in a helicopter accident. Yep, dreadful. I still shout Kobe every time I throw my bottles in the bin. Never go in, so it's an
Always be
embarrassment.
a thing. It will always be a thing.
Bro, I shouted Kobe the other day when I took a penalty on FIFA. I shouted Kobe and hit the crossbar and got a little bit sad. I was like, wow.
I did it when I
Fucking
took a shit.
lovely. Can't miss, really, can you? If you miss, you got a problem.
Exactly.
target.
I need that type of thing.
Did you know, while we're on the topic, did you know, yeah, a basketball hoop, like the perimeter of it is wide enough. I only learned this like a month or two ago. All right. A basketball hoop is wide enough, the perimeter of it, to fit 2 basketballs in at the same time.
Jesus.
When I learned that, I thought suddenly it's not as impressive making a 3-point shot.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I was like, suddenly, like when I play basketball, yeah, I've sat there thinking, wow, I'm really shit because now I know how wide the fucking hoop is. Wow, I must be trash. But the hooping lane end, you've seen it, Tom. You throw a ball in it and it bounces back out. It's trash.
Fuck, that's not even a. No, don't get me started on
No,
that.
but I think the
That's
Kobe
because
thing,
it's lane end. Lane end's just shit.
yeah, it's full of tramps. But the Kobe thing kind of hit every sort of sports fan hard, just embodied what hard work was.
Oh yeah, like
Dedication.
definitely. It hit a lot harder, you know, because there's sort of the circumstances behind it.
Yeah, like it wasn't ill. He was still young. He only retired a couple of years ago. It was just a bit sad. But I think it got worse when you find out that his daughter died as well. When there were 7
Yeah,
others
it was
involved.
always a case of who was with him, you know, because he was always such a big air travel person, you know.
Oh
Obviously
yeah,
between
but
games, between
it's one of them
obviously when he was
things that.
retired, he was still using the
Oh
helicopter
yeah,
to go to
it's
his
good
training.
coaching.
Yeah,
I
for his
think it's one of
daughters.
them things. It's one of them things in life that, like, you look back on, you'll always remember where you were and happened. Like I was,
Yeah,
funny
I
enough, I was
I
in the
was
room
in a
playing
coffee shop
NBA.
in Amsterdam trying not to cry in front of 50 people.
I was in the room with my girlfriend and I was playing NBA while she watched her little TikTok videos, and then she showed me that fucking TMZ article, and I
Yeah,
joked
that's
around,
what
be
I
like,
was
"Well, it's
like, oh.
TMZ. What do you expect?" And it was real, and I was like, "Oh shit!" And then that kind of put a downer on my day.
I don't
Month.
remember what I was
Yeah,
doing.
yeah,
I
it's
was probably
quite.
working.
You probably it's late in the evening. Probably fuck knows what you
Mate, I
do.
don't remember what I did yesterday, so my memory's just shocking.
Why am I not shocked? All right, on to
That's
February.
why.
President Trump impeached. Again, we said this earlier. We had a discussion about this earlier. It didn't do fuck all. It seems like a
Nothing
big thing at the
came
time,
of it.
but realistically, nothing came of
No,
it.
because
But
he had everyone in his fucking pocket. That's all he had to do, just pay
well, yeah,
everyone, and that
man,
was it.
money talks, man. Money talks. Every facet of the situation, money talks. But
Exactly.
later on, obviously, led to, as we now know, Biden being president-elect. So hopefully, Trump goes to prison for all of his crimes. He's a fucking scumbag. But
Nah, mate, he's fucking trying to pardon himself and all his
yeah,
kids,
he did.
which
Yeah, but I
should
don't
not be
think.
allowed. Fucking what's his name? Putin did that recently. Did you see? He
I don't believe anything that comes out of Russia, man.
passed a bill himself, pardoning himself from everything. So
So,
if he were to step down or get replaced, he won't be
and
arrested.
he passed that himself.
basically. Yeah, he passed that
Isn't
himself.
that the definition of a dictatorship?
Well, it kind of is.
Well, that's what Trump tried to do. Trump tried to do a dictatorship.
I reckon America need a dictator, you know, like a Gaddafi figure. Honest to God,
Oh,
they need someone to be like, right, if I see you out on the street and you're not wearing a burqa, you're fucked. Like they need something like that. I don't care. They need someone to be like, right, if you order more than one Big Mac when you go to McDonald's, I'm cutting your fingers off.
I mean, if anyone was
Mate,
going to,
that's just Sharia law.
Trump.
That's not a dictatorship.
That's what I mean. Get Gaddafi in. That's what I mean. Get someone like that. I know he's dead, but like, get something. He found that a pipe, wasn't he? I remember seeing it after school.
Yeah, he got found.
Fucking
Do you know what
Zil.
was so weird about that? I remember, I think it was probably around 2012, and I was still playing Modern Warfare 2, and I always remember looking at the
I remember
pipe
coming
on
home from school and seeing it on the news. That was so funny, man.
Gee.
I don't know why I laughed. But,
He was a bastard.
It was a
another big dub in February. Another big dub. Harvey Weinstein was finally convicted for all the scumbag things he did to women.
Yeah,
Fuck me.
yes.
I've been waiting
There's
so
a
long for
lot.
this to happen, boys.
There
I
was a
celebrated.
lot.
I
There's two
celebrated.
things with that one, though. You know, obviously, if anyone saw when he was going to his, I think it was his first trial, whoever put him on the fucking Zimmer frame was perfect.
He needs
That
a
was,
knighthood.
it literally, like, if literally, I reckon the lawyer was right. We got to fucking play this to the fucking T, right?
How do we make
Got
it
an
look
idea,
more-
let me run it past you. It's going to sound crazy, but it's going to work. But
Let's
it
make
didn't
them
work for us.
sympathetic towards you.
I found this. Wabam! This wax out of Zimmer frame. For those of you that don't know, a Zimmer frame is a walker. If you're American or
Yeah,
European, it's a
Yeah.
walker, a walker. It's one of them things you hold to hold your weight while you walk.
basically very old people wear it, and for
Yeah,
some reason, Weinstein
imagine
decided,
Herbert out of Family Guy. That's what he
yeah,
has.
that's
A Zimmer frame.
Hey, Chris. Yes.
but in it's one of those. It's all
He was
there's
such a
so
twat,
much
though.
stuff
Even
about
during
it.
the fucking court cases, he tried to pay out all of their lawyers
He's a
to
tosser.
drop the case. I think he tried to spend about like 20 something million
Jesus,
just for payouts.
The more I think about this, though, yeah, it's really weird, isn't it? So
Or was it
I
2
was
million?
watching.
I think it was 2 million.
So
That's
I was
still a lot of
watching
money.
this comedy show,
Yeah.
yeah, a while ago about this, and he was talking about this, right? And it was a really weird concept. So obviously, the whole premise of the Harvey Weinstein thing was he was sleeping with like young people and giving them away, basically saying, if you sleep with me, if you do this with me, I'll get you a way in, like I'll get
Yeah.
you into the industry, right?
Yeah.
And he was doing it to women, right? If you reverse the roles here, this is the problem with society. If you reverse the roles, I saw this on a comedy show, and then I spoke to my dad about this, and my dad said the same thing. He said,
I would suck a dick to be in
if
a
you reverse the roles, right, and you have, I'm going to quote Joe Rogan because he's the guy that said it, Harvina Weinstein, a female Harvey Weinstein, Harvina Weinstein, and she came to you with a solid contract to be Batman, mate, I would eat her out for days. She came to me and just
Honestly,
said,
you'd have to
Tom,
tear my tongue out of her arsehole.
you'd be holding flaps on your forehead, sweat getting in your fucking eyes. I don't care. I'd be like, man, you're gonna be Batman. You're gonna be Batman. You're gonna be Batman. You're gonna make me some fucking money.
And you know what I'd be
Batman.
like after that happened? I'd be walking out there with a grin going, I'm fucking Batman.
I'd leave it dripping off my facial hair. I wouldn't care. I'd leave the crumbs around my mouth. I don't care. I just wear a shirt with a Batman logo.
Oh no, I'd be in my car going,
Tina gave it to me.
But no, I think the sad reality of that though is if it was the other way around, so a woman producer did it to men, it wouldn't be believed. That's the sad thing.
This is what I mean.
There are so many parts of society that is just so disjointed.
It's so double standard. Like, I mean, it's easy for us to sit here, we're all blokes, and say that. But like a good example would to be if someone came to you, like if you were to read a paper or read an article online, right, and it said, "Man makes women sleep with them to get a job." Yeah, you'd be like, "What a fucking dickhead!" And you want to like burn him at the stake. But then if you read something, I for one, right, if I read something and it said, "Woman forces men to have sex with her in order to get employment," I'd be like, "Are you going to be okay? Are you okay? Man up, you put take one for the fucking team, man." Like,
I think this is just the point of where society is going to change.
it's perception, isn't it? It's so stupid.
Yeah, it's twisted.
It's
so
that
twisted.
whole manly persona you've got to fucking put forward. It's so
Yeah,
Stupid.
it's really easy for us as blokes to sit here and say like it's different. It's different. Obviously, not having a woman's perspective, but I think even the women know, like,
Yeah, yeah.
it's so bad now to a point. If you go on TikTok, yeah, and I widely regard
Oh,
TikTok.
don't even get me.
I've got nearly 22,000 followers. I don't use it a lot, right? But odd flex, but okay. I widely regard TikTok as a mild form of Pornhub.
No,
Because
no,
basically,
I will agree with that. If you
right?
go on Pornhub, you will find a lot of TikToks.
So
There you go. Yeah.
I went onto TikTok the other day, and I'm scrolling through my For You page, and I'm seeing all these girls dancing, right? And I'm a big fan of Megan the Stallion. So the Stallion. Big fan of Megan Thee Stallion for not only the fact I like some of her music, but she's a fucking goddess. She's gorgeous, right?
Hmm.
I see people dancing to her new song. If you read the comments, right, I don't know how these women can look at themselves sometimes and read these comments and actually feel good about themselves because they're so degrading. But like, if the point I'm trying to get at is they're all like, "Oh well, what an ass to keep her a secret," all this shit, right? But the point I'm trying to get at is if a man did that, yeah, women would not say that.
No.
Women would
No.
not be like bigging. Men don't big each other up. Like if I was to post a photo, yeah, like say I lose like 10 stone, I get shredded, and I post it on Facebook, and I'm like, wow, I'm looking great, right? All the girls, if a girl did that, all the girls like, wow, you look amazing, B, shining. I see you shining. I know for a fact if I did that, you two would be the first two to comment. You two and Jack, and you'd be like, put your fucking shirt on, you faggot, or
Yeah.
something like that. Something like that. You'd be like, put your shirt on, you gay prick. I know for a fact, and my dad would be that guy as well.
No,
He
your
would
dad
ring
would be
me.
the first one on there. He'd
My
run
dad,
up to
Oh
your
God,
room and
yeah.
just
He'd
be
be
like,
the
"What
first
the
one to
fuck?"
roast the shit
my
out
dad
of
had
you.
kicked my door down before it literally get posted 7 seconds ago. My dad
You'd
had been
press
in my room.
post, you'd hear him coming up the stairs.
Slapping arms through the fucking floorboards. Come here, you twat. All right,
Oh
anyway.
God! Speaking of fucking social media trends, before we move on, one of the newest ones is like body positivity, right? My
Oh yeah,
missus has a friend who's
Bob Pod.
who's a bit overweight, and she's been putting up all of this body positivity stuff because you accept who you are. It's a positive message to send out to people.
It's
And
stupid.
she,
To an
bless her,
extent.
is getting so
It's
slated.
stupid.
No. But the thing is, she's not like
Obese.
unhealthy level of overweight. Like
Just tubs.
yeah,
She's a
uh,
chungus.
but she's getting absolutely slated. Whereas my missus' other friend, who is a stick insect but with two very large assets, is doing the exact same thing.
Oh, I know this bird. She's fucking gorgeous, mate.
Yeah,
I know who
she's
you're
doing the
talking
exact
about.
same thing.
Is it
The
the one
whole
I want
body
about? Yeah.
positivity thing. Yeah.
Or if you're listening to this, Shelley.
Name
But
drop.
yeah,
Why
she's
not?
Shelley.
she's doing the
Her name's not
exact
Shelley.
same thing,
Oh,
and she's
okay.
getting so much praise for it,
I'll watch
and
it.
it's just disgusting.
Yeah, this
Like,
is yeah, like I'm saying,
There's
this
a
is the
lot
big
to
issue.
it, though. I think there's all about that like accepting that everybody's fine, but then there's objectifying obesity and then putting it in a position where it is normalized in a way. If you
Yeah,
understand.
I agree. Before we move on, again, I'm sorry,
No,
Callum,
no,
just
no.
remind me
Let's
of
get
something.
started on Lizzo. Okay.
Oh, no,
I,
I'm
I,
not going to get
res-
started.
respect what she does, all that shit, but she is not healthy.
No, like, I'm all for being
No way.
happy with what you look like, but
If she
that's
walks into a fucking doctor's and be like, "Am I healthy?" What do you reckon they're gonna say?
wait,
no.
for who?
Lizzo.
Lizzo,
Who's Lizzo?
Google her.
Oh, Google her, mate.
Yeah,
Lizzo.
yeah.
Yeah,
Just
just Google her now.
Lizzo.
Lizzo. She wears like thongs on stage and shit as well, Callum. So like,
And
take
you
one piece.
understand why I am making this point?
But
Because I have nothing against it. Like you know, it's your lifestyle, your body. Do what
Oh
you
no,
want.
yeah, I see what you mean.
But then there's objectifying an unhealthy image,
yeah,
which
and I
is
think a
respectable
big
because
part
they've
of
done
it.
it on both ends now. They've done it with the obviously glorifying, very skinny women and,
Yeah, but I think
muscular
But
bodies.
no,
if
but
you
no,
notice, it's only for
bad.
women though.
So with modeling, they have all those anorexic looking women on
Yeah,
stage, like
not
doing
all
all
the
that.
time now.
They did
Not all
a
the time.
survey most of the time, but they did a survey and it showed that a lot of modeling agencies and stuff like that, they really overestimate how much men like women with that figure because I
Yeah.
so fucking don't. I just
I
force
can't
Mm,
stand skinny birds. Not because they're skinny, I just like something to grab.
It's just attraction, though.
It's
Like,
just,
It's not.
it's just people
more.
you're
It's
attracted to.
if there's anything
It's
wrong.
more like depending how skinny they are, you just look at them and you just go, "You need to eat."
I still remember I had a girlfriend. I can't remember. I think it was probably about secondary school, and she was very skinny. Like you'd sort of question if she was anorexic, but it was that point where she was so thin, like in comparison to even just an average girl. You think, Jesus Christ.
That's mad.
Well, then I've got anorexia runs in my family because my grand's got anorexia. She's had it for fucking years, and it's not a nice thing. But it's objectifying and an actual mental health illness in both
Yeah.
sides of it.
That's the
I
thing.
think I think last point on this before we move on, being like, sorry, the point I'm trying to make here before I start is it's only for women. Like you'll never see. I don't go to the gym, right? And I'll see. I go to the gym. No, I don't go to the gym and see men get glorified. This is the thing. So men, it's society's perception of what they want you to be. So
Mhm.
if it's skin, like I go to the gym, I see skinny guys, I see fat guys, I see people like me that are like in the middle that kind of have like muscle but are kind of still trying to lose weight.
Yeah,
And then I see like, for example, if you see a woman that's a little bit overweight, you can see PTs and stuff like that trying to help her. You see people trying to help her. They're like, "Oh, go girl, you're looking great," right?
mm,
You see, I saw a bloke. This is a true story. I saw a bloke in the gym about 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, and he was really big, and you could tell it was his first time, and he looked quite young, right?
yeah,
And he asked me if I could give him some tips because he was on something I wanted to use. He was using like this easy bar curl thing, right? Um, I wanted to use it, so I was just waiting because it's quite busy. And he said, "Oh, you go, mate. Come on. Like I'm keeping you up. I don't know what I'm doing anyway." So I helped him through it and kind of coached him a little bit.
yeah,
And then I went about my way, right? And I could see guys laughing at him like teenagers, and I thought, "You fucking dickheads!" I didn't say anything because it's not my place,
mm,
but I thought, "You wankers." And then I
No,
went in the
it's
changing room.
horrible.
I went in the changing room right afterwards, and I was with Jack, and I was getting dressed. And when I went to wash my hands, this guy came out of the toilet, the same guy, and he's wearing like a grey Canterbury shirt, like grey shirts that get wet and they turn like
yeah,
black. He's
yeah.
wearing one of them, and the poor guy, he was like soaked head to toe. You could tell it really fucked him up, but he had you could tell he went for it, and I was like,
Good
good on
session.
you, man. And he was like, thank you for your help, man. I really appreciate it. And he was really polite. And he was like, it's my first time going to a gym. I just wanted to make a change. And he's
Mm,
like, I'm not sure. He said, I wasn't sure if I was gonna. He said, I wasn't sure if I was gonna stay in here long though, because I could see people like looking at me funny.
yeah, yeah.
And I was like, man, I was like, you don't have to say thank you, man. The fact that you even showed up is a positive. And he's like, yeah, but it just makes me feel so on edge when I see all these muscly people. And I'm like, at the end of the day, you have to go for yourself. Don't. He's like, I want to look like them. I was like, you shouldn't want to look like them. Like, you
Mm,
should want to look like you.
Look like you, but just better yourself.
Yeah, just imagine what you want to look like. Don't be. I want to look like. I want to look good. I'm not gonna lie. I don't go to the gym to look good. It's just a benefit. I go
yeah,
to the gym because if I don't, I mentally start to deteriorate. It's just something I need to do.
Because the,
But
the
like,
thing is, the way if you think of it as I want to look like this person, you are never, ever, ever going to look like that person.
no, because they're
Because
always going to be improving.
yeah,
and everybody's body is different as well.
Yeah, and
But
no
if you
one
go,
stays
I want to
still.
look like this celebrity, you are never ever going to look like that celebrity because they have enough money to pay for the best personal trainers, the best diets. They can have their own home gyms.
The
Stuff like
chances
that.
are the pictures they're showing aren't even fully
Semi-real,
natural
yeah.
culture.
Yeah, and there's that as well.
Right, we're going to move on from our rant about body positivity now. I enjoyed that conversation. That's quite fun.
That was a good one, yeah.
March. We're into March. Global recession happened, obviously, due to stock market crashes and
Yeah,
COVID and everything going out of business. It just went to a shit
All
show.
my
I enjoyed
investments
it.
gone to waste.
I enjoyed it. I got furloughed. I got paid 6 months of work to
damn
do
my
an absolute
stocks in
2 weeks of what
British
paid.
Airways.
I'm not gonna. Damn you, Thomas Cook. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna bait out my girlfriend, right? I'm not gonna say how much she earned. I'll say the minimum. Right, she got over. So I think we calculated it right like a month ago. Over the summer, so from March to September, my girlfriend, who was 20 years of age, got paid over £4,000. And I'm telling you now, I think it was over four, might have been over three. We'll say three for easy argument's sake. We'll say three. Over 3 grand for doing 127 hours of work.
Jesus
So,
Christ.
and she's on like £8 something an hour, I think. So if I get the calculator,
So
up, bearing in mind
3
furlough,
weeks
bearing
work.
in mind furlough is what, 80%. So if you say 127 hours times 8, that's £1,000, right? My girlfriend got 3 times that amount, probably more, for doing over the course of 6 months for doing that much work.
Christ.
Outrageous. So I enjoyed it. But she enjoyed it.
I bet you did.
She got furlough. I got furlough. Tom,
I
did you get furlough?
I was unemployed.
I got
was on-
sacked.
You two both got... I remember going to Callum's during lockdown for his birthday. We had a socially distanced party. Right, it was really funny because his whole family sat on one side of the table and they were all crunched up, and then there was me on my own. You know how his table was set up with the long benches?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was me on this one side on my own, sat there, and we had Danny and Lucas on webcam. And every time it was my go, you had to turn the webcam around, and I had to wear gloves and shit.
Oh,
It was
geez.
so funny. I had Maisie pouring my drinks. It was great. It was so funny, man. Jake was rat-arsed. Oh, it was great.
I
But,
died.
Callum died yet again, obviously. But that board game was sick. We've got to whack that out again sometimes. Callum's
Well,
sister made a
it
board
needs to be
game.
remade.
Oh, wait,
Oh, no, you showed that
Cat's
to me
got
last time I was around,
oh,
didn't
for
you?
fuck's sake. Yeah, Callum's sister made a board game, and it was probably one of the coolest drinking games you'll ever see. It was awesome. But it ruined Callum's life.
Well, no, I looked at that board game, and 10 moves in, you're fucked.
Yeah, literally. Like, one of the first squares is drink 3 shots, and I was like, oh dear, this is long.
Didn't
I'm
the
pretty sure
Hungarian's
it's at least
girlfriend get stuck on
50,
that for
50
ages?
Mhm.
spaces.
Yeah, she didn't end up having a good time. Didn't
I
end
bet.
up having a good time. All right, on
Because
from that.
if you move 3 spaces, you went back and just had to take a shot.
Yeah, you
She
just kept
kept
landing
on
on it.
going 3 spaces and just get the shot.
All right,
Gee.
second point I have in March, probably the biggest point of the year, most influential point in my opinion. The unlawful killing, horrible killing of George Floyd led to immense pressure coming from the Black Lives Matter community across not only
What?
America but transcended into Europe and the rest of the world.
Global.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it became
It was
a
crazy.
global.
It's
It was
crazy.
nuts. Again, one of them things, much like the Kobe thing, not comparing the two, they're not even comparable, but it's comparable in the sense that it was one of them things you'll always remember where you were when you saw, if you saw the video. If you
I
haven't seen
hated
it,
watching that
I
video.
don't recommend watching it.
I didn't watch it.
But I
No.
watched it. I'm not into that sort of stuff. Right? I'm not a fucking sadist, right? But I want to know what's happening, okay? And it got sent to me by one of my mates in one of my group chats,
Yeah.
and he was like, "This is surely fake." And then he went, "Oh no, it's real." And I just finished working out in my garden, so I was like, "Fuck it, I'll have a look. What's this?" And I cried because you can just tell it's real, and you can see. I'm not going to get too much into it, obviously, because it's emotional and it's morbid as fuck. But you can see the life just slowly fade from that poor man.
Yeah.
And we had a brief discussion about it earlier on when we were planning all this out. And I think you said, Tom, it's one of those things like it was kind of like the last straw. Like if it
Yeah.
wasn't him, it would have been the next one or the
Yeah,
next one.
it was always going to be a dominoes effect, you know, because
Yeah.
there was that Ahmaud Arbery who got shot.
Ahmad Aubrey, the guy that got shot by the ex-copper guy.
Yeah,
And
but it basically just
Breonna
going for
Taylor
a
as
run.
well is another one.
There's
And
so
there was
many.
Orlando
Honestly,
Castillo. And
there was this crazy statistic that I saw last year that there was more shootings in America, and I don't know if this is specifically just broad shootings or school shootings or shit like that, but it all goes together with, you know, if everyone didn't have access to a firearm, shit like that, you know, the Arbery one probably wouldn't have happened, you know, fucking.
a lot of them
There's
wouldn't
so
have
much
happened.
regulations that there needs to be, and even with the police officers, I'm pretty sure there are cults in certain departments.
See, I think another point, all right. The reason this was so big and the reason it affected everyone, not only was it like horrible and morbid, but like you said, the vast majority of them are firearm problems, right?
Yeah, they
So
are.
like you hear that thing in America, like uh, black kids when they're growing up are taught if you get stopped by the police to put your hands in the air, so
Yeah.
it doesn't look like hands on the steering wheel, right? I have never, obviously, we live in the UK and we're white. I've never been taught that.
Never.
I've never been taught that the police are bad. I've never been taught that I have to say, it's polite to say yes, sir, no, sir. I've never been taught like oh, do this, do that,
I mean, the
because
thing
it's
is,
never been a thing.
the difference over here is our police are well trained because in America, I
Some
think
of them.
when it comes to gun training in America, it's literally like a few weeks. So
They have 6 weeks training.
whereas
From what
in
I've heard.
places like here or
months of training here.
Norway or places like that, it's years of gun training before you're allowed to go
You
on
get
patrol with a gun.
months of basic training. You get 6 months basic training over there, which includes the gun training.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You get
exactly. It's so
you get
stupid.
months of basic training here before you even touch a firearm.
Because the biggest problem over there, it's the
It's the
racism and it's the
accessibility to
police in
firearms.
general. Because whilst there is a lot of black people targeted by the police, there's also some white people as well.
White people,
Because it's
Hispanic.
more inexperienced coppers. Because there was this one guy recently, I think either this month or the month before, he was a white guy. The coppers knocked on his door because they went to the wrong address. He answered the door. They told him to get down on his knees. He got down on his knees, put his hands behind his head,
I've seen
and one of the
this.
coppers shot him in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen this. It was in like a flat complex, right? An apartment
Yeah,
complex.
and he had a
Yeah, I've
daughter
seen
as
that.
well.
Yeah, I've seen this, and you can hear her shouting. I can't remember his name, but I know what you're on about.
It's
I
horrendous.
think it's. I don't think it's entirely to do, but I think it's the system. I saw there's two videos I saw. One that relates to the accessibility of firearms in that country. There was a guy who was 15, I think. The guy in the video was 15 that they were using as like their prop bloke, right? It was a YouTube channel. I think the video's since been removed by someone, but they were in, where were they? I think they were in Atlanta, and they filmed this kid, and he was 15. And he had ID to prove he was 15, all this stuff, and he went into they call them like convenience stores, and there were loads
Oh,
of
I know the
firearms on
video
the
you're
wall,
on about.
and he said, "Can I
Yeah,
buy a firearm?" And the guy said, "Do you have ID?" And he said, "Yeah." And here I am going, surely they're not going to let him buy a firearm. And he goes, "Do you have the money?" And he said, "Yeah." And then he's like, "Which one do you want?" And I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, this motherfucker's 15 and this
and
grown
then
man.
he went to go and buy cigarettes, and they refused.
Yeah. And they wouldn't let him buy a pack of cigarettes. They was like, "No, you got to be 18 to buy cigarettes."
It's ridiculous. But I think another thing as well is police over there. They're not really trained to shoot to subdue. That's
The
as
shoot
a last resort.
Yeah,
Whereas
it
coppers over
shouldn't
here,
be the first thing you think of, should it?
anti-terror. So the only time we have armed police in this country is when it comes to
Terrorist threats.
It's a
terrorist
serious
attack,
problem.
Yeah,
and they
definitely.
will shoot to kill as a last resort. They will
Oh,
shoot
listen,
to subdue first. If
on the
that does
topic of
not
that, bro,
work, they will do a shoot to kill.
I didn't know. I've never seen. Obviously now it's fairly common to me because we're quite a high terrorist alert all the
Yeah,
time.
the
Almost.
past few years we've been.
Yeah, after the Ariana Grande thing and Paris and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I remember, the first time I ever saw like a bomb squad in person, and I saw like high terrorist alert. So we live, I'd say, about half an hour on a train, maybe 20 minutes from London, right? If you get a direct
Yeah.
train. Well, me and Callum do. I remember the day before, I think it was the night of the Ariana Grande concert, it was a Champions League final. Juventus were playing Madrid, and Madrid won 4-1, right? And I remember because my ex-girlfriend was around and we were going to hers the next day. And she lived in Kent. So the following morning, obviously the Ariana Grande thing happens that night. My mum and dad are out in London, so they come back and they're like cacking themselves. And then the following day, we're supposed to be going to London. So we get on the train at Wickham, everything's, la-di-da. No, everything seems as normal. Get to Marylebone, right? I swear to you, I got off the train in orderly fashion, like a fucking packed out Chiltern Railway train, orderly fashion, one by one, taking your bag. I wasn't even off the train, and this guy was about 6'5", fully bodied up with a rifle. He was about 3 feet from my head. I could smell the gun, and he grabbed my bag out of my hand because the conductor person on the train said, "Get your bags ready for a search." Grabbed my bag, searched it, made me on my merry way. I got 20 feet to the ticket machine. I got searched again. I got to the ticket machine to go onto the Bakerloo line. I got searched again. And it was like this at every single stop, getting on train, getting off train, up until I got to Kent. I added probably an
See-
extra hour and a half onto my journey. And it was
See-
terrifying, bro. Everywhere you went, rifles everywhere.
My
Scary.
experience of it when it
Scared the
happened.
shit out of me.
So
Mm.
when that Ariana Grande concert happened in Manchester, my experience of it was I was working at that pub in the train station in Reading,
Oh, in Reading, yeah.
and obviously because Reading's a city as well. They had to have armed police everywhere because it's classed as a high risk area for it being a city with its populace and stuff like that.
I thought Reading was a town.
No, Reading's a
No,
city.
it's a city.
I'm Muppet.
And I was outside on my having a fag break, and one of the coppers are there, and they've got a fucking Heckler and Koch G36, and I just walk up to him as I'm having a fag, and just start chatting with him. That was my experience.
I don't know, man. I think
police
in London,
brilliant.
I think in London they're a bit more worried because, like, think
Well,
of
in
how
London, if you think about how dense
yeah.
packed it is,
Yeah,
it's
how
crazy.
dense.
I was so scared. I can't tell you. So I've been scared in my life. I think everyone's been scared, right? That is probably, if I was to put like a fear factor on, I didn't know, like, not in terms of I thought I was going to die, but I thought there was a high chance something was going to happen because I'd never seen that amount of police before in my life, let alone armed riot people, like with fucking
feds, proper feds.
Yeah, like rifles and they weren't even wearing police jackets. They were wearing like suits and shit. They looked like people at Hurt Locker. It was terrifying as fuck.
Jesus Christ.
That was bad, right? So you had that experience where they search your bags properly. Every time I've gone to a theme park where they search your bags, because over the course of a few years, there's been a lot of stabbings at places like Thorpe Park, Alton Towers, blah blah blah. That every time they search your bag, they literally ask you to unzip it. They peek inside, and that's it. You could just have a fucking knife in any compartment, and they won't check that compartment. They'll just ask you to open your bag and look inside, and that's it. And I'm just thinking, no wonder these fucking stabbings happen in these places because none of the security guards could be fucked to check.
I think it's because it's probably the last place you expect. Like, I went to see Ed Sheeran at Wembley. You two know I'm a huge Ed Sheeran fan, but my little sister, as like a birthday gift for me. And I knew going in, I'd never been to like a proper big concert before, right? But I knew going in, just from going to like football matches and stuff like that they check your bags, right? It's just routine every time they do it. I didn't know to what extent. So they take, you guys have been to concerts before, take your bag off for anyone that hasn't, and they have like little tags. So when they've searched your bag, they put a tag around your bag, and it basically means this bag's been searched, it's clear.
Or you go through a airport style scanner.
Yeah,
I've had that as well.
But when I went to Wembley, they had pink tags, and they put the tag around the loop of your bag so people could see the tag has been searched, and you're all right. It's basically your getting pass, right? I had a bottle of Evian water in my bag, and I literally bought it like 3 minutes prior to getting into the fucking stadium. There's like a little stall outside. I spent £2 on it. I was fuming. So I get in. My sister, I go first because I'm like, I don't really want Neve getting embarrassed or like showing up. So I went first. And this bloke grabbed my arm and said, "What's this?" And I said, "It's water." And he went, "Take the lid off." And in my head, I didn't know what was going on, so I said, "You take the lid off."
He was probably
not a good thing to say, right? But he was just like a little like Somalian bloke, I think, some like little African bloke. He was really nice. He was like, "Take the lid off." I took the lid off, and he goes, "Pour it away." I said, "What?" He said, "Pour it away or drink it now." So I drank it, and I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Okay, you can go in." And I was like, "What was the point in that?" And I still had half a bottle, and he went, "I don't know what's in the water, and you can't use a lid."
It's because liquid explosives.
Yeah, I didn't know that, and he explained to me. He said it's because there could be chemicals in it, and when you have the lid on it, imagine a fizzy drink. When you take the lid off, boom! And I was like, "Oh, shit, okay." And then I turned around and I could see Neve throwing a bottle of Coke in the bin before she even got to. That was funny, man. What made that worse was Neve bought me 2 pints and then spilt them both on the way up to the stairs.
Oh no, you don't spill gig pints. Jesus,
they're like 20 quid each.
£5 a pint.
Right, let's move on to the next month because we've gone on a massive tangent.
Yeah. We go from March, we move on, we go to August because obviously we're in the UK, so nothing really.
No, actually, with that time period of every country locking down, you've forgotten the big important thing. Wildlife started coming back.
Oh no, yeah, it was like Venice.
That's the big thing you missed. So, like in Venice, dolphins, turtles, and stuff like that started appearing in the canals.
I missed this.
Same here in Britain.
I completely forgot about that. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, same here in Britain, around Bournemouth, around Brighton. Oh, excuse me, Blackpool. The water's
many
really
views.
cleared and wildlife started coming back. And same in China, their smog levels really dropped like
Do you know,
dramatically.
on that fucking note, do you know what I realised when we were locked down? It was around July, right? Because I remember the gyms opened up again. And I remember
Yeah.
I was walking to the gym because I was in town. I was walking to a gym and I thought, I've never ever seen the sky this blue. Because it was
Yeah.
the first day after lockdown and there were no clouds. And then I
Yeah.
thought to myself, I know planes cause somewhat clouds because of vapor and stuff like that. But I'm looking around and I'm thinking, this is really nice. And I live right next to the M40, right?
Right.
Big ass motorway. Like I'm
So
talking,
do I.
if you go in my back garden, Callum, and you
No,
walk
yeah, no, I
55
know that.
meters, you're in the right. Yeah. If literally you go out to my back door and you walk 100 meters, you're in the middle of the M40 motorway, right?
No, it's really
Which
close. It's
they
really
have
close.
like a soundproof wall, which does make a difference. Not gonna lie, but it's not that much. It was so quiet, I could hear crickets in the forest behind my house.
Jesus,
It was
man.
so blissful, right? So sitting in lockdown was quite nice, but
Well, no, it was great for nature because it
Yeah.
could just reclaim its land. And then, literally, as soon as lockdown ended in certain countries, those levels skyrocketed. I think it literally took a month for China's smog levels to get back up to where they
yeah, it
used to
doesn't
be.
surprise me.
Yeah, if you think and like China's like they're sort of going through their own industrial revolution sort of thing for their sort of development stage. The
Yeah,
way
I
they're
suppose
doing
so.
it. So that literally like is much it's the same in London. The pollution levels in London are very high. And I think this isn't anything to do with April, but I think there has actually been a first death related to a
Yes,
pollution
yes, I
related
saw that
death.
news article a couple of weeks ago.
Oh,
Yeah, the
mad.
little
Yeah,
8-year-old
she had
girl
a
who lived in somewhere in London, and
yes, she
there
had
was a man
asthma and she had a
yeah,
really bad reaction.
asthma
Yeah,
attack caused by the pollution,
Oh,
and she died. But I think
sucks.
when they did the bloods on her, they obviously tested, obviously the amount of carbon or fucking whatever must have got into her
it,
system as well as the actual asthma attack.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. They ruled it out as death by pollution
Yeah, which is the
because
first ever.
I think it must. If I remember correctly, I think it was the amount of carbon monoxide within her system.
Yeah,
Don't
it would
quote me
be.
on that.
I probably think it's going to have to do something with monoxide because it's not going to be fucking anything else.
Yeah, it'll be one of the byproducts from the amount of cars within the city, factories, stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, and London is ridiculous. Even when because I have an uncle who lives quite close to Brixton, and whenever I end up going to London, if I go on the train, you can always just tell the difference of the air.
Oh, it's
Like
horrible.
as soon as you
When
go
I used to work as an estate agent, I had a viewing with someone, and they were moving out of London. They lived in the center of London their entire life, and when they came to Wickham, I'm driving them around, and they go to me, "This is the most countryside I've ever seen in my life."
Jesus,
And I think they
Wickham's a
were like
shithole.
19, so
19.
they'd lived in London almost 19 years of their life, and this was the first time they'd seen as much greenery within a town.
That's sad, man. Wickham's not even green.
Exactly.
That's sad. Anyway, moving
It's
on.
bad.
So in this time period of March to August, we had the global recession, George Floyd, and all the Black Lives Matter stuff, and the social movement. The animals, like Callum just mentioned, a poor 8-year-old girl dying of pollution. We
No,
also had the
that's
No,
recent.
cancellation.
that was
That's recent.
Okay, then
she
so,
died a few years ago, but the
oh, alright.
Oh,
autopsy.
I thought it was a recent one.
Nah, she died a few years ago, but they finally released the autopsy.
We
Uh,
had, we also had final point. We also had the cancellation of all big events as the most of the world went into a full blown lockdown.
yep.
No travel, all travel restrictions done. No big events. Sports were cancelled. Football, basketball, NFL. All these sports were cancelled.
Orgies were cancelled.
Yeah, which I'm quite lucky because the old job which I was in was stuff to do with printed media and
Oh yeah,
all events. So literally their whole sort of
everybody
business
sort of went.
module just fucked.
Did they
'Cause
cave in, do you know?
no, they're still running, but I know over the first lockdown period the amount they lost
Went not.
was
Yeah.
near £12 million.
Jesus
That's
Christ.
purely just on the amount of work that they lost.
That's a
People
couple of months.
cancelling.
That's not
Yeah,
even like heavy.
a lot, no. And it's they make the money on doing a lot of one thing. So
Yeah.
obviously they get an order in of fucking 1,000 banners which are 1 by 2 meters. That's how they get the money in. They don't make money if they do single jobs, which they were just getting.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But it's industries like that which are going to struggle. It's it's the entertainment industry in terms of live performances, theatres, exhibitions, events.
The only form of entertainment that's going to exist is voice acting because you can do it from home if you've got a good
Or
enough
even,
setup.
what we're doing now.
Yeah,
That's
exactly. Like this type. So anything that can be recorded in a audio format is going to be fine.
yeah.
Anything
I
requiring
think I
any
saw
sort
a
of live
stat,
action stuff,
and it was
which
like
is
the
why
rate
I
in which.
understand. Sorry, just quickly, which is why I understand why. Did you see that news article a few days ago about Tom Cruise flipping his lid?
Yeah, I saw
Yeah,
that.
I heard
I
about it.
understand why he went fucking ape shit because it's just like you're breaching coronavirus restrictions by getting too close to each other.
That's something George Clooney agreed with them as well, and I think the vast
Exactly.
majority of people who have read that article would have to agree with them.
Well,
Because
there's
saw
idiots out
like
there who
that's
don't
the
agree,
reason why
but
the whole industry is, been on pause. I don't know if you guys watch American Horror Story, but
no.
past the new season they've been doing was meant to start filming in, I think it was the start of spring, and then of course coronavirus hit, everything went to shit, and they have only just started filming for this new season about a couple
Yeah.
weeks ago. This
Oh
shows
god, speaking of TV shows, did you see Charlie Brooker who does the Black Mirror stuff for Netflix? He
yeah.
he got him to put
I
out
can't wait for that new special.
he put out bus adverts, right, saying Series 6, and it was literally reflective material in these posters on bus stops and
That's
stuff.
so cool.
So it was just mirroring
What was
our
happening?
world today.
Yeah,
Ah,
that is sick.
So it was a set piece. They are actually making a Series 6.
They're currently making they've made. We're just waiting for it to release that. They've made a movie, haven't they, about the year called Death to 2020.
Yeah, they've made that, and
Releasing
I
on
think they are
Netflix
making a Series
next
6
week,
as
isn't it?
well. I think
Mate,
so. I
Black
didn't
Mirror.
watch
Black
the
Mirror is one of
previous
the
movie. I
most.
need to watch that.
To anyone listening to this, yeah, if you haven't watched a single episode of Black Mirror,
it's
I
creepy.
highly recommend that. They're not in any chronological order. There's 5 seasons currently,
They're all
and there's a
different.
movie. I
Series
highly
4 and
recommend.
5,
Are the
they're a bit
best.
hit and miss.
Oh,
No,
some of them are sick. The
some of
one, the
them
one
sick.
about the museum. The one about the museum.
I've not watched that one.
Oh,
But the thing is, with Series 4 and 5, that's when it became Americanized. So Netflix
yeah.
fully took over. 1 to 3 were the best because it was very, very. It was highly focused on
It could actually
causing
happen.
you to be unsettled, and it was stuff that could actually happen. And then Series 4. No, was it Series 3 or 4 with the whole social media stuff? Where you had
4.
to have enough followers and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, no, that's
See, yeah, some of them
The thing
episodes
is,
are
that is actually
waffle.
happening in China.
It still happens now. It happens in everywhere. Like, everyone focuses too much on social media.
No,
But
no,
no,
no.
if you haven't,
No, so Will, with that social media thing, it was so employers would actually look at your social media and see how many followers you had, this, that, blah, 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 how many likes, dislikes, all of that, and then base your employment off of that. And China are actually doing that exact same thing, and I think that started happening in China a few months after that Black Mirror episode aired.
Jesus.
It's just so concerning.
It's how close to reality that TV show is, though.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
they're
terrifying.
very, very. Charlie Brooker is phenomenal. He
I
is.
will give him that. He's someone else.
It's just one thing I don't agree with was when it got Americanized because you could tell when you're watching it had that Americanized style writing.
Yeah, I get what you mean. It's really over the top, isn't it?
Yeah, because
But we are going to move on. But quick note on that: if you haven't seen Black Mirror, it's not a chronological show. Nothing's in order. There's 5 seasons. They're all very good. Go and watch just one episode, and I guarantee you, your perception on that specific topic will change. And one of the episodes was filmed in High Wycombe. Just want to say, very good episode. Okay. Yes. Anyway, moving on. Nothing really happened between March and August. A couple of things we've just mentioned. Nothing really big. In August, we were told to go and eat out to help out. Big mistake,
Dumbest idea ever.
mate. It's dumbest idea ever, but it's the only time I'll ever go and get lobster and crab and shit.
I
So
understand why they did it to kickstart.
I get it.
But it was
I
so
get it. Yeah, but it was the wrong time, wasn't it? It's the wrong time.
So earlier this week, Rishi Sunak came out and went, I didn't actually consult with scientists whether or not this would have been a safe idea, which was so. He never consulted it, and they would have all told him no because
they would have told him to wait.
Yeah, they would have told him to wait.
You'd hope so.
Because the thing is, when they did the Eat Out to Help Out stuff, that's when they opened schools and unis as well, which is when it really the virus really started kicking back up again.
Yeah, got a bit of traction back then.
Mixing, yeah, children mixing, yeah, people.
That was when schools went back then.
Like it was a knock-on effect because a survey showed that unis and
Our survey says
breeding grounds for COVID.
Well, it would be because it's not going to affect it. I think the percentage of the age range it affects and the under sort of, I think it's 15 is the lowest percentage, but it doesn't mean that they can't carry.
Yeah, exactly. So you have all of that. So all of these kids going, and then parents are catching it off of them, and then they're going out and eating and spreading it, and that's what caused the virus levels to start.
Yeah, it was all a bit of a shit show.
People need to get the understanding in their head of the knock-on effect that every action that you take can have.
Yeah, butterfly
Every
effect,
action
isn't it?
has a reaction.
It
But
literally does. And now that's more
our
prevalent now than ever.
Yeah, they blame people our age for it though.
It's not.
Our,
Moving on, we can go on about that all day, but it's not a big thing. But
our
done.
demographic were probably the most well behaved. Okay, yes, you did have some doing illegal like raves and shit like that, but a majority of the population our age were abiding by the rules, wearing masks,
Yeah.
keeping socially distant. Whereas people like say our parents' age, who sort of within their like between early 40s to late 50s were just ignoring it, refusing to wear masks, believing shit they read on social media because people like to generate false shit. Because I mean, like the older generation, so their parents were actually abiding by it.
Yeah.
Like my nan, for example, she's one of those ones who just doesn't give a fuck. And when this first happened, we thought she wasn't gonna give a shit about it all. She has been the most well-behaved person of everyone within my family. She's been the most like abiding by everything, not refusing to see everyone, always wearing a mask, even coming over in gloves when it first happened. And
That's
then you've got my mum, who she first started abiding by it, and then she started listening to her friend, who's one of those COVID deniers,
yeah,
believing shit she's read on Facebook, and then doing research based off of those files off of Facebook and stuff like
I'm
that.
going to research things on Reddit. Woo!
Yeah,
Them
it's
people
like that just ruins it because
piss me off, man.
people that age are the type who, when you're growing up, go, don't believe everything you read on the internet, but then do exactly that. And then
Yeah.
people that age tell them, the fuck do you think you're doing?
Yeah.
Like,
Moving on from the COVID, because COVID is it sucks, man. But there was a bad time. It was a bad decision, and we probably one of the reasons we're still in this sort of shit show. But we're going to move on because I don't like talking about politics.
No, politics is a very polarizing subject.
Yes. Moving on from
politics.
We have Chadwick Boseman, unfortunately died. Our King T'Challa, the Black Panther.
Which
absolutely hero.
Really, did they?
Forever.
Yeah, Wakanda forever, man. But like, it was sad because I didn't know he died of colon cancer. I think some form of cancer. Pretty sure it was colon cancer or prostate cancer. It was one of the two. And I didn't realize. I didn't even know he had it. First of all, right? So I was shook.
I didn't either.
I didn't have a fucking clue. I don't think many people did, right? But I found out he had it like 4 years prior. And in that time, he'd done like 4 movies, 3 of which were big blockbuster Avengers movies.
No, he'd done massive movies, even outside.
And he did one about the police, or was that the guy from Star Wars? That might have been the guy from Star Wars. What's his name?
John Boyega.
John Boyega. Yeah, I think that might have been him. But, he did like a baseball film. He did loads of shit, man. But it was sad to see. Quite young, wasn't he? 40.
Yeah,
it's very
kind of sad because he was like a big influence, and great actor.
He was on his way. Like, I reckon 20 odd years he would have been sort of in the Denzel sort of category.
Oh yeah, he was very, very talented actor as well, very good. But it's just sad because He had such a big role. Like they were filming Black Panther 2, or it was planned to be in production
Yeah,
soon.
they're not replacing the character though. I don't think.
How are they going to film it with him? Like,
No, I
surely it'll
don't
be a sister.
think they're replacing him.
Surely it have to be his sister.
I think
That's the only logical way to go.
it's going to be a family member replacing me, if I remember correctly.
Like they did with Paul Walker in Fast and Furious at the end.
Talk. Full stop.
Nah,
Isn't
they're
that
not.
what they did with Paul Walker?
I don't think they're CGIing it.
Oh, they did that with Paul Walker's brother, didn't they? At the end.
No, because they
Shit.
no. With Paul Walker's brother, it was they fully like CGI Paul Walker's face. I think if they were to CGI him in, they would do what they did in Rogue One with Grand Moff Tarkin.
Yeah.
What's the actor's name? I can't remember his name.
Well, we ain't gonna know, are we?
Like, you know Grand Moff Tarkin. He was Darth Vader's leading general.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They
Don't know
fully
his name, but
CGI'd him in Rogue One. And as impressive as that was, it looked really fucking creepy.
Yeah,
Well,
Rogue One was a sick
even
film.
if you seen The Irishman.
Huh?
You seen The Irishman?
No,
No.
I'm not.
I think most of their budget they spent on trying to de-age Robert De Niro and Al Pacino and what's his fucking name? Joe Pesci. Spent most of their budget trying to de-age him, and it just didn't work.
Yeah, it's a bit shit.
It's a good film, but it's just they spent so much money.
So on the thing of CGI, I don't know if anyone's been watching The Mandalorian.
I've not. Please don't spoil anything for me.
Oh, okay, I won't say it then. It's not like a big thing, but it's kind of big at the same time. They CGI'd someone's face in, and it's mad.
CGI is fucking amazing.
Yeah, but you wait until they see like who they CGI, and you kind of be a bit meh. But regardless, moving on from Star Wars and all things CGI. Also, West Coast California burning. We all know
yes,
this was shocking. This was shocking to see, man. Just because you don't expect it to happen in places like California, despite the fact it is built on a fucking desert. But the West Coast of California wildfires burnt millions of acres. I saw a stat somewhere earlier when I was looking this up that 127 million. I might be wrong, so don't quote me on this because I'm probably wrong. I don't do a lot of research.
You probably.
Yeah, I don't do a lot of research. I sort of scanned through. This could have been bollocks. Or it could have been fake. You never know. But 127 million acres of woodland and sort of forest area, and
that's just crazy.
Just neighborhood burnt down, man. Like, kind of scary. That's a lot.
We're
a lot
lucky
of acres.
because we're a very moist country. So
you're lucky I don't mind that word, man. Some people hate that word. Listen, if any of you hate that word out there, I'm sorry, man.
No, don't apologize.
You moist, saggy sack of shit.
Apologize. If you can't stand the word moist, you're a cunt.
Well, your mum hates that word, doesn't she?
Nah, it's my sister.
I swear. Oh, I swear it's your mum.
Nah, it's my sister.
I'm pretty sure it's all your sisters, both of them.
She also hates the word snot.
Oh, snot.
Snot. She hates.
But yeah, the wildfires were shit, man. Like, you don't expect it to happen in you don't expect it to happen anywhere, but like in America as well. I mean, it was kind of horrible to look at. Like, there were photos from like cities, and you could see them burning with the night. Like, you seen that thing?
Where it's just a
geezer comes out of his house, and there's just red.
Yeah, that was
I remember
that scared. I remember seeing that. Yeah, that scared the shit out of me. The guy opened his house door, and it was just red. You couldn't see he couldn't see his car.
Oh fuck that! That's I'd hate that.
We are very lucky that we are.
We are.
We're segregated. It's cool.
I'll happily put up with shit weather than risk my house burning down.
Oh yeah, 100%. Anyway, moving on, because that is a morbid topic. I just want to cover that because we covered the Australian ones, and I personally think the Australian ones were a little bit worse, despite the fact they didn't burn. In terms of
acreage.
Yeah, in terms of acreage, just a big word. In terms of numbers, yeah, we're talking
impact. Definitely, Australia was the worst because of the amount of endangered species.
Oh yeah, 1,000%.
Aboriginal tribes, all of that stuff, and whereas in America you don't have native tribes.
They have no natives anymore.
No, they do, but aren't they like cooked up on little like patches of land?
No, I'm pretty sure most of them don't have any land.
Pretty sure they're fenced in.
No, a lot of Native Americans have like barely any land anymore.
Yeah,
and-
they're like little resorts that they get stuck on.
yeah,
No.
it's horrendous, man. It's so
Yeah,
shit.
it's so sad. But we move on. We digress. Toward the end of the year now, October. September was kind of boring. October, the only point I have for October, again, a boring month in my eyes. Rock legend Addy? Wow, what a disrespect.
Say that again.
Eddie Van Halen died.
Yes.
Big
Rip
sad
it,
one for the rock fans.
That's a big one.
May you
Like
jump
that.
forever in heaven.
Do you remember, while we're on the topic of dead rock stars, do you remember when Lemmy died? And
Gee.
Oh
everyone-
Christ! Yes.
what was the band he was called? Metallica?
No,
Motorhead, yeah, Motorhead. Sorry, I'm not a big rock fan. Sorry for everyone out there who's going to crucify me.
all right. Let me
So, that,
let
listen,
me play the story. So, I had a house party. The day Lemmy was dead.
Yeah, I think he was announced like 3 hours in.
Yeah. So
yeah, it was so sad.
about 3 hours in, and me and a few of my other mates, as well as Will and Tom, were partying, and the other friends I had there were big metalheads such as myself.
Like massive Motorheads.
Yeah, they were big Motorhead fans. I liked Motorhead, but I wasn't big enough a fan to really care.
On that scale.
When Lemmy died, a couple of them they shed a tear. They weren't over the top, like they
That's
should
putting it lightly.
because oh,
This
no.
man downed 4 of my strongbos
no,
at the same time.
We haven't got there yet. Man.
The others
Excuse
shed a tear, but one of the other friends
He took it to a different level.
took it to a different level. Not only did he shed a tear, but he necked his bottle of Jack Daniels in the space of about 10 seconds, and then
Not an exaggeration.
then take another bottle and start drinking that as quickly as possible. And just
and drank my 4-pack of Strongbow. Like they were still sealed. He all 4 of them, and then put them above his head and squeezed them together like you would squeeze a baby's face.
Bearing in mind, for the people that don't know, Steve was quite a big boy. He was quite.
Yes. We'll call him Steve. That's not his real name, but we'll call him Steve.
No, but it's he could have easily crushed 4 cans above his head.
He was a drinking machine. I'm not gonna lie to you, but he big boy, and he minced these cans. You know, like when people stand on cans, he did that with his hands. He was a big guy, and I was pissed because I just spent fucking £6 on them. I came out the bathroom when he was doing that, and I was fuming. But yeah, how did we go from that Eddie Van Halen to that? That was a funny night, though, man. There's some stories from that night.
It was a good night. I think there's
some
some
stories.
Head of Rebellion as well.
We'll have to get into. We'll have to do an episode of some of the stories. There are some serious stories.
right, go.
We digress into November now. Wait, what did you say, Cal?
Yeah, I didn't.
One go.
Oh, November. Nothing really happened. I turned 23 in lockdown. It was boring as fuck, let me tell you. Everyone out there who had a birthday in lockdown, so you two are included.
Yeah.
Nothing really
Boring.
One.
But yeah, I'm going to get onto that. Biden beat Trump to become the president-elect.
Nothing happened.
Because it's America. I don't give a shit. They're fucking idiots.
You should.
Biden beat Trump to become the president-elect. Biden beat Trump to become president-elect. I think we all knew it was going to happen. I definitely, deep down, I knew. But when I was watching the numbers and the totals and shit, I was panicking. Because there was one point where Trump was ahead by a little bit, and I was like, oh boy. And the best bit, do you know what the best bit about this whole thing, right, is he called for that revote, prolonging the result by about a month.
Oh, was that for Minnesota?
And for Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Oh,
and he called for the revote, and then it came back, and Biden won by like an extra 138 votes or some shit like that.
That's
just rubbing more salt into the wounds, and it was just
being the man to beat Donald Trump, though. Like that must be such a feeling to say that you beat him in an election race.
Yeah, but then also at the same time, I would kind of be embarrassed that I had to beat him in the first place. Look at him.
Well, yes, it is one of those ones, but at least you weren't beaten by
Donald. Like Barbie and Ken. Imagine Ken in his 70s. That's literally if you made a Ken doll that was like geriatric, that's Donald Trump.
He's
exactly
just like a fat jaundiced baby.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then
God.
December, we're in December now. The
Mr.
last month of the year.
Donald Trump reminds me of Mr. Blobby.
It's fine.
Blibby blobby blue.
We're in December now, the final month of the year. Coming toward the end of the shit show of the year. Finally, we got the COVID vaccine. Probably the biggest thing that's happened. Definitely to do with sort of coronavirus and how this year's gone.
Really,
That's
this
it.
is one of the biggest revelations in the past 2 decades.
Yeah, but you'll still get them people that say it's
It wasn't a revelation. What was a revelation was they finally fucking finished Brexit.
that too.
Released Cyberpunk. No way.
Oh god, let's not get onto that. But new consoles came out. Next gen consoles came out in November. We forgot that, but that
Absolute shambles.
shambles. That's all we're going to say on that. Moving on swiftly.
Shambles.
COVID vaccine. Back to that. Brexit happened. Yeah, we got a trade deal. Yeah, you know.
And the thing is with that, there's going to be so much shit that's happening with
Yeah.
Brexit in the terms of
yeah.
I think
making
we were
new
speaking about it earlier.
we
And
haven't.
you said something along the lines of, "We're no better off.
No,
We're
no.
going to be worse off or the same."
Every single trade deal that we have made, we are neither in a better position. We are either in the same or a worse position.
That's shocking, isn't it? That's so
And
bad.
the terms with, in the sense of the cost it's taken us to get out of the EU has equated to the same of the membership costs since we first went into the EU in 19 fucking fuck knows.
The problem is if they could have, but the way referendums work, right, is you can't do another one.
No.
Correct.
So if they had the power to have done a second referendum,
The majority of people would have voted again just
Yeah,
because of the length it took, man.
It's
Big
what was it,
100%.
3-4 years?
2016, yeah, 4 years.
Jesus.
I've had 3 girlfriends in that time.
people,
All 4, 4, 3, 3.
a
I was
lot
going
of
to
people,
say I've had 2. Oh, that's interesting.
a lot of
Oh.
people Steve have
My
died.
numbers have dropped. Jesus.
I think our
Say
numbers.
that again, Callum, I just said died.
A lot of the people who voted for Leave.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
my grandparents voted leave.
Push your mind in, but they're still alive and kicking.
Yeah, mine as well.
One of them died. One of them got killed by COVID.
Vote to
But
leave.
he was old though. But that's pretty much our year in review. If you could make now, this is my little surprise segment for you two again. If you could describe the year, I've got 2 parts. Firstly, I want both of you to describe the year in 3 words.
Shambles.
3 words.
Hunt.
Fair enough, Tom.
Waste of time.
That's fair. Mine would be a learning curve. Now,
Good.
my final part before we move on to Callum's segment to end this episode, the pilot episode.
What you need to remember is, okay, 2020 has been a shit year, but it's not been the worst year.
No, it's been the worst year for us.
For our generation, it has.
Oh, 100%. For everyone alive, it's probably one of the
We've
worst
been
years.
lucky though. We have been very lucky.
It is very selfish to say it's been the worst year when you have to look back in history and look at, between 1939 to 1945 and between 1914 to 1917, 1980, all of that stuff where people were getting conscripted against their will, go fight in wars that they had no experience in. Stuff
There
like
was
that.
the only thing I have to argue with that, there was a difference between the perception of life now and then there was
Yeah.
70 years
Life's,
ago.
life's different than it was 80 years ago.
To go into the military, wanted to. There was people lying who wanted to go into the military. That's,
there were people who lied.
the only difference is we've become too soft.
Yes.
There are very few people who would end up going into that position wanting to go, oh, I want to fight for my country. I want to do this. I want to, want to kill the Jerrys. But, that wouldn't happen now, realistically.
No, it's definitely not.
If you go back some point, I was stopping myself from saying at the start.
Just gets insulted when you say anything
Well, that's it. It's social media have made a load of snowflakes. And I'm also going to go back to the point that I said I wasn't going to say before, but think of the amount of people who are transitioning who would happily revert back to female so they wouldn't have to go to fight.
Yeah.
Or even if it is now, 21st century, fucking everyone can fight.
I just want to say, I want to put this across now, right? About the whole snowflake thing. I am a member of the LGBTQ community, right? And I am known as the homophobic faggot.
I'm laughing at
I'm joking.
So if
I'm
you start
joking,
getting insulted
I'm
by
not
anything I
homophobic.
say that sounds homophobic, you fucking eat a dick because
Me
I've
and-
eaten plenty.
Okay,
So
on
fuck
that note,
off.
me and Tom aren't, so fuck you guys if you get offended.
I like boobies.
Yeah, I'm a heterosexual male, but I don't hate anyone. If you get affected by what I say, fuck you.
I feel like I had to put that out there because if it got to an episode where I start making homophobic jokes and people came back just like, "Oh my god, you said this, that, blah 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 blah," it's just like, well,
Yeah, well, people are people, man. They're gonna do what they want to do.
There's always,
Always gonna be one of them.
if it does get to the point where we have gone too far, it is going to be an acknowledgement.
that's the thing. If we put this across now, we're safe in the future. But
True.
the problem I'm faced with is everyone hates bisexuals. The straights hate them. The gays hate them. The trans.
Yeah.
The latest trend since December has been bisexuals are apparently automatically against
No, it's homophobic, weren't they? Or transphobic?
transphobic. That's it. Yeah, that's the latest trend. And
I
I
think that's
don't
just
understand how that works. Considering if I started dating a woman that had a penis, I'd be fucking happy. So
Wow. Fuck that. I would be get the fuck out on your merry way, sweetheart. I don't want that in my mouth. If I woke up here and somebody was slapping me in the lips with a penis, I think I'd rip it off. 100%.
Well,
to be honest, I don't even know.
if that person was invited, then yes.
Well, Callum's been in that experience, but it doesn't matter. It's no news. It's no news to Callum. On the topic of news, segue. We're going to end this pilot episode. I think it's been quite successful. We've kind of enjoyed it. I've enjoyed myself.
Are we going to do the news segment or?
Yep.
I've
Yep.
not enjoyed myself.
Segue into. We've been talking about gays. Of course, you haven't. Segue into Callum's. We're going to end on a bit of fun.
I've got some funny news for you lot.
Why did you just turn into a farmer?
What?
I just turned into a farmer. Wait,
Because the West Country accent tends to be quite a nice one.
Whack out the news then, sunshine.
Right.
I want to be taught.
All right, I'll do this in my normal voice. So, study finds eating healthy people's poo can reduce symptoms leading to heart attacks and type 2 diabetes.
What?
That's our
That's topic
Tom,
one.
Tom, did you flush the toilet earlier when you went to the loo?
No, I left a floater in there for Mum.
Bring it back. Go get it. Go get it.
Hang on a sec.
right. Next one. Mysterious gingerbread.
By the way, I did flush the toilet. Thank you very much.
Oi, you talked over me, prick.
I apologise. I didn't want people thinking I didn't flush the toilet after I went for a poo.
Mysterious gingerbread monolith appears in San Francisco. Or fight between father and son escalated to sword attack.
I think the poo one, to be honest.
I'd probably have to go poo, but the sword one does sound pretty interesting.
I would have to say poo. Oh no! This content is not available in your region. No!
Oh, sword one is. The sword one it is.
The best thing as well is there's one comment on this post, and it goes, "I can't open the link, but I really want to know who the hell took part in this study."
That is, yeah. I mean, that's a weird one. Who would openly
anything Vice posts?
If you give me, I would do that for nothing less than $500,000.
Sure, yeah, well.
I don't know.
But I'm a sellout. I'm selling myself out.
Oh no! At the minute, I'd probably do it for fucking 300 quid.
You cheap bastard.
Right.
Oh, dear.
So, fight between father, son, and it escalated into a sword attack.
Okay.
It happened in North Bay.
I'm assuming America.
Yeah.
America.
You even have to ask.
When it happened. Like, Jesus. So a dispute between a father and son in North Bay escalated when one of them attacked the other with a sword. A verbal argument turned violent at the home. Blah, 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 blah. A 32-year-old man from North Bay now faces charges of assault with a weapon. The argument turned to a physical altercation, and the accused retrieved a sword from his bedroom, and he struck the victim in the face. Now,
Well, that's sort of a very open-ended one, I think, because you said face.
Struck him in the face.
Was it a slight brush?
Medical attention. So the guy's not dead, thankfully.
Okay, it was that serious because they don't have a picture of his injuries.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see it. I'm not gonna lie.
Sword it was. So
I'd imagine if it was a big sword, they would have said katana or fucking samurai sword or.
If it was a sharp-edged sword, then that would have done some damage. But I think it must have been a blunt-ended sword.
It must have just been a shitty kitchen knife.
No.
Just one of them toy lightsabers you get from Toys R Us back in like 2005.
Yeah, that.
Still got something.
Just two nerds clotting on each other in the head.
I'm Darth Vader.
I killed you. You dead.
In like a blunt wall-mounted weapon. I've got another funny news story.
Okay.
Right, we'll end on this one.
Tropicana apologizes for suggesting mimosas are the answer to pandemic parenting.
I mean, none of us are parents, so we can't talk. But mimosas are the answer to most things.
Yeah, very nice, but to be honest, I can see a fair few mums drinking mimosas.
Oh, my mum's just been on the gin.
Right. Some people loved the ad, while the others said it encourages using alcohol to cope with stress and drinking in secret.
Oh yeah.
Duh.
It's 2020.
Is under fire after a cheeky ad campaign that suggested parents stash the ingredients for a mimosa in fridges around the house to take a break. The ad was found to be offensive by many social media users, including a sobriety group.
Snowflakes.
I can understand. Not even the sobriety one, man, because you know you're going to see fucking adverts for booze.
Yeah, you're going to see adverts for booze, but I think it's more the fact that Tropicana is only associated with orange juice.
Yeah, true. Very true.
So they do other flavors.
So alcohol-based campaigns are going to be based only on adult channels or late-night television.
I think that should be a thing anyway.
The watershed.
Yeah.
Juice advert is going to be displayed.
Above 18, you have to consumption. Anything like that, it should be watermarked. Watershed after a certain point. Because I was on Comedy Central the other day and a fucking advert for Love Honey come up, and I shit you not, they don't beat around the bush.
There is no bush on Love Honey.
It's a clean shaven nun. And
yeah, there is no bush on Love Honey.
There's like all the buzzy things, the fuzzy things. There wasn't what?
Nah, Tom. Even YouTube is coming up with these fucking adverts full of like smutty shit.
Oh, don't get me started on those adverts.
Just go on TikTok. See it all for free.
Yeah, YouTube's demonetizing channels, going, "Oh, this content's too inappropriate" because there's a single swear word in it.
That's stupid.
We're fucked.
Yeah, they're allowing these adverts.
We're fucked.
That's just through YouTube, though.
I mean, we'll upload this to YouTube, but Spotify's.
We'd have to censor it if it was YouTube.
Nah, fuck that. Just put it on Spotify. I'll CBA to put it on YouTube. YouTube is scummy.
Funny.
Scummy.
Nah, we won't have to censor it for YouTube. It's fine.
Nah, but anyway, I think we're gonna end on that. It's been a fun. I don't even know how long it's been. Anyone been timing this?
Hour and 20 minutes.
Oh, been a fun hour and 20 minutes talking and waffling about the year. I think we can all agree that we all want next year to be better.
Yes.
Hope everyone had a great Christmas, as good as it could have been, with the people that are around you, and I hope that you have a good New Year.
No,
I would give social media handles, but these two don't really have it. So if you want to follow anyone,
just keep listening to us. You ain't gonna find me anywhere else.
Yeah,
we'll probably create our own social media page at some point.
Well, as of right now,
we will have a joint page.
As of right now, the only social media we have is mine, at WDSMore, and that's on Twitter and Instagram. So if you want to follow me, go and follow me. Other than that, I haven't really got much else to say. It is New Year's Eve, so go out, have a drink. Don't go out. Don't go out. Don't go out.
It's rephrase.
Wow.
Stay in, have a drink.
Go out, wear your fucking mask.
Stay in, have a drink,
Call
get
your
merry ratast, and we all three of us wish you the happiest New Year's, and we'll see you in the new year. Thank
Yes,
you.
we'll see you in the next episode.
Ciao.
Yes.